What exactly is an SPCC plan, and how do you know if your facility needs one? In the next couple minutes, I'm going to break down what SPCC plans are and who they apply to in plain English, and by the end, you'll have a clear answer as to whether this is something that you need to be worried about or not. Hey there, I'm Tate Hunter from RMA, your environmental experts. We help businesses stay compliant with environmental regulations like SPCC without overcomplicating things. And before we go too far, just know if you ever need a hand with an SPCC plan, you can reach out to us here at RMA. All right, let's dive in. So what is an SPCC plan? SPCC stands for Spill Prevention, Control, and Countermeasure. It's a federal requirement from the EPA that falls under the Clean Water Act, and at its core, it's just a plan that explains how your facility handles oil. It's all about oil and petroleum products, how you store it, how you prevent spills, and what to do if a spill does happen. And you might be wondering, what do you mean by a plan? Well, it's usually a physical printed binder or a book or something like that stays on site. It's something that you can physically, literally grab during an inspection or during an emergency. Digital copies are great, but you should really have a hard copy ready to go. Inside that plan, you'll typically find a few key things. Where your oil's stored, how much you have, site maps showing those locations, spill prevention measures, step-by-step response procedures, and who's responsible for what. It's basically your step-by-step playbook for handling oil. Now, before we get into who needs one, let's quickly talk about what counts as oil. Because most people think we're talking about gasoline or diesel or motor oil, and yes, those definitely do count, but it also includes things like hydraulic oil, lubricants, even cooking oils like vegetable oils. The easiest way to think about it is that if you casually call it oil, it probably counts. Now, who actually needs one of these SPCC plans? Well, it comes down to three main criteria. First, and this is the big one, how much oil you can store. If your facility has the capacity to store more than 1,320 gallons of oil above ground or 42,000 gallons underground, then you likely qualify for a plan. And this is based on your maximum capacity, not what you typically have on hand or annual throughputs or anything like that. So even if your tanks are empty, they still count as full. And standard 55-gallon drums do count, by the way. Most facilities that store oil don't realize how quickly they can cross that threshold. You got a few tanks, you get some drums, maybe a backup generator. All of that stuff adds up really fast. Second, there has to be a reasonable chance that a spill could reach water, and you might be thinking that this is your out, but that does include things like storm drains and ditches, anything that could reasonably carry oil off of your property. So in our experience, this means pretty much everyone meets this second criteria. And third, you're storing oil, you're not transporting it. So this applies to facilities like manufacturing sites and maintenance shops, and even places like data centers or hospitals or apartment buildings. The only types of places that don't count are things like railway and barges that are transporting oil and single-family residences. Now, one quick note, there are actually different types of SPCC plans depending on your storage and some other details, and depending on your state, you might actually need other documents instead of or in addition to an SPCC plan. We're not going to go into all of those details here, but just know that in some cases, you can create your own plan, and in other cases, you're required to work with a professional. It all depends on what type of plan you need, which itself mainly depends on how much oil you can store, your setup, and your history of spills. Now, if you're looking at professional help, we actually have a quick online calculator where you can get a ballpark idea of what it might cost for RMA to prepare your plan. It's a really easy way to get a sense of pricing without committing to anything. Okay, one last thing. An SPCC plan isn't something that you just get to stick on a shelf and forget about. There are some ongoing responsibilities that come along with it. Things like routine inspections, keeping records up to date, making sure your team is trained on what to do if there's a spill. The good news is that all of this stuff is pretty manageable once you have a system in place, and it's exactly the kind of thing that we help with at RMA, whether that's setting up your inspection routines, helping with training, or just making sure that you're staying on the right track. Bottom line, if you have oil on your site, there's a good chance that SPCC applies to you, and if you're not sure, it is worth checking because getting it wrong can lead to serious fines or bigger issues if a spill does happen. At RMA, we can help you figure this out pretty quickly and get a solid plan in place without all of that stress. So if you've got questions or you just want to make sure you're covered, reach out to us. We're here to help.